Students, welcome to my channel Lalit Sir. Standard 7 Subject Science Chapter 4 Heat Part 3. Dear students, in the previous part 1 and 2 we have understood lots of things about clinical thermometer and laboratory thermometer. Now we'll understand about transfer of heat. That means how this heat transferred to one person to another person, or how this heat transferred to the one object to another object. We'll understand entire point by the activities and also by the practical examination. You might have observed that a frying pan becomes hot when kept on a flame. Whenever a frying pan, when you keep on the flame, suppose this is the frying pan, when you give hot object below that, suppose a flame or suppose any candle or whatever it is, and if you observe that here you will feel heat when it starts, and after some time slowly heat will progress to the end point of the frying pan. That means up to this level heat will come. That means something is there from middle of this, from this frying pan, from the middle of this frying pan, it is improving to the sides. Slowly it goes to the sides. How it happens? Dear students, there is something. Why does it goes there? Because it transfer the heat from the hotter object to the cooler object. It slowly goes that way. So now you can see here one activity. Take a rod or flat strip of a metal, maybe of aluminum or iron. Fix a few small wax pieces on the rod. These pieces should be at a nearly equal distance. So you can observe that this rod which contains these waxes, due to the heat pass from this angle, it melts down the wax slowly and reaches near to the brick. That means there is the heat which is given here, it transferred to the end point of this brick. That means it transfers the heat. You understand? So the process by which heat is transferred from the hotter end to the colder end of an object is known as conduction. Got the point? The process by which heat is transferred from the hotter end to the colder end to the object is known as conduction. In solids, generally, the heat is transferred by the process of conduction. Do all the substances conduct heat easily? You must have observed the metallic pan for a cooking has plastic or wooden handle. Might be you observe that you can see there's this kind of pans you have at your home. This is a cooking pan, and that might have this handle, this kind of handles. This is this kind of wooden handle or plastic handle. This kind of handles are there. It will not become hot due to the heat transfer from this place, because these are called the insulators. I know that students in the 6th standard you already understood about the conductors and insulators. We'll check it again what is this conductors and insulators. So here some of the material which is given to you, this is the some material in the class which is given to you. You have to observe and you have to note down here the what kind of the object it transfers the material which has the article made of and why it transfers the heat or what's this. this kind of materials which are made of the different kind of materials, which is plastic scale, pencil, spoon. You have to observe that material, what kind of material it is, and you have to note it down here in the table. So once you have noticed that the heat transferred, now the material which allow heat to pass through them easily are called the conductor. That means if we have a metal strip, if you give here a flame, then it allows to transfer. Suppose this is the iron strip. This is the iron strip. If allows the transfer of heat, that means this is called the conductor. This is called the conductor. You can note down there are some of the conductors is aluminium, copper, iron. You also take the advantage of the utensils which are available in your house, and you can check the whether it is conductor or a insulator. Now, what is insulator? The conductors, mostly the conductors, that means that there are some of the conductors which are poor conductors of the heat, which is not allowed to transfer of heat from here to here. There are poor conductors, but it's known as the insulators. That means the water and air are a poor conductor of heat. So now we need to understand how this water and air allow to transfer of heat, and what exactly we should know about the transfer of heat in water and air. What kind of the scientific idea, what kind of the scientific things are applied over here when it transfer of heat in the water. So here it is an example, it is one activity is given here. In this activity, what you have to do, you have to take this flask and with the stand, trash stand, which is a burner also you have. This is a metal plate also, uh, and metal frame also you can say. And this you just have to add water and some potassium permanganate. When you give heat from here, once in this flask, what happens once you give heat, this potassium permanganate slowly it goes in the upward direction from here. From here it is goes in upward direction. That means the heat which is given over here in the water, it transfers some parts of this potassium permanganate to upward directions. The process of continue of the moving heat toward the upward directions, that is called the convection. That means what? You can see here that when water is heated, the water near the flame gets hot. Hot water rises up and cold water from the sides moves down towards source of the heat. This water also gets hot and rises, and water from the sides move down. You can see with the diagram, I just want to show you how it happens. See here in this flask, suppose here is the water. Okay, now what happens? Here the potassium permanganate. Why we added potassium permanganate? So you can see it is the pink color. When you heat it, it takes a pink color, and once it gets the heat, you can understand the bubbles which goes upward direction. So you can understand the water how it take the heat. In this, you can see that when you heat this flask, the water which is present here, it is colder one. Okay, once it gets the heat, it gets these molecules or molars of this water get light. आफ्टर गेटिंग, जब इसको गर्म करते हैं तो क्या होता है, ये पानी थोड़ा हल्का हो जाता है. तो गर्म पानी क्या होता है, धीरे धीरे ऊपर की ओर जाता है. और ठंडा पानी नीचे आ जाता है. Why colder water comes downside? Because the hotter water go upward direction, so the molecules of the colder water goes downside. See, you can see here. This is flask. So hotter water go upside, colder water downside. Hotter upside, colder downside. So this process continuously goes up and down, and the mode of this kind of the process of heat is called the convection. Convection is means what? The hotter object of the water goes in the upward direction, the colder object of the water goes in the downward direction where they get the heat. The process of continuous process of this going upward and downward direction. See, it's not like that the upper side of the water only go. The side of the water which is near to the flask, you can, it's not like that. Here if it is flask and only the water present over here, it goes down. It's not like that. The side water which is also colder, it also can go down. Meaning of this thing is that the hotter water will go upward direction, or side water, all the water present in the upward direction will go the downward direction and get heat. The process, it is continuous, happens. The mode of heat, this kind of heat, the transfer of this kind of heat is known as convection. You can also see in the air. See, in the older house, maybe if there is a house, in the old house, might have you have seen, if you have old house, might have you seen in near, see, this is a ceiling fan, okay, and near the ceiling fan you might have seen this kind of holes in the upper side of the wall. Might have you have seen here. Why these holes are made by your parents? You can ask to them also. Why? In summer, when the heat gets, when your room gets hot, the air present in the room, it gets a heat. So because of heat, it goes in the upward direction. Okay. So once it goes upward direction, and if it not get any kind of this, if it is, these holes are not present over here, then what happen? If the holes are not present here, then the heat will not go outside. So the room will go hot. But once it is here, the holes are given, then what happen? The air will go outside. The air will go outside of the house, and fresh air will come from the windows also, or the doors also. The hotter air will go outside. So this is also the process of convection. So top air goes downside and hotter air go the upward directions. Here also you might have seen about the hot air balloon. Maybe you have seen this hot air balloon, I think. So in this hot air balloon, you might have seen here, this, there is a flame machine over here which gives the flame. It goes the upward direction. The flame, it is goes only the hot air, it passes over here. When it hot air pass, then continuously this air goes in the upward direction, and balloon will blow. This blow because of the hot air, and the hot air goes upward direction. So this hot air balloon goes on the upward direction, and it is fly. Is it? It fly. So the air and water get the heat, passes the heat, that is called the convection. Air and water passes in the process. The process is known as the convection process of passing the heat. There are conduction we understood, insulator we understood, and the convection also we understood. Now there is one more point we want to understand, that is sea breeze and land breeze. What is the sea breeze and land breeze? You know that in the coastal area, there are people are living in the coastal area. They open their window in the morning time, afternoon time, because during day the land gets heated faster than the water near the coastal area. In the daytime, रेत जो होती हो गर्म जल्दी हो जाता है. Very fast it gets hot. The air over the land becomes hotter and rises up. अब एयर जो प्रेजेंट है रेत के ऊपर वो क्या होगा, हॉट होगा, तो कहाँ जाएगा, ऊपर जाएगा. द कूलर एयर फ्रॉम द सी रशेस इन द टूवर्ड्स द लैंड टू टेक इट्स प्लेस. अब ठंडी हवा होती है पानी के ऊपर, वो कहाँ है कि गर्म हवा की तरफ. क्यों कि हमारा क्या है वो, कन्वेक्शन. That convection, because of this convection process, the hotter air from the land will pass towards the colder region of the sea, and the sea which has the colder air which pass towards the land. The warm air from the land moves to the sea to the complete the cycle. The air from the sea is called the sea breeze. In the daytime, जो सी पर से हवा आती है लैंड के ऊपर, ये जो ब्रिज बनाता है, that is called the, suppose this is the sea and suppose this is land, and here it comes the cold air, is it? So this is called the sea breeze. Okay. Similarly, in the night time, it is exactly the reverse. The water cools down more slowly than land. So the cool air from the land move towards the sea. This is called the land breeze. What happens in night time? The water cools down more slowly than the land. So the cool air from the land moves towards the sea. This is called the land breeze. Similarly, sometimes you understand about the sea breeze and land breeze. Now, you also observe that when you go outside immediately, you feel heat. When you reach in the sun, after reaching out from your house, if you goes out, जब घर से बाहर निकलते हैं तो हमें गर्मी लगती है. Why it happens? It cannot reach us by conduction or convection. Is there any medium? Conduction होता है? नहीं. Conduction तो एक continuous process है. मेटल होता है तो हो सकता है. कन्वेक्शन है? नहीं. एयर और वाटर हो सकता है तो कन्वेक्शन भी नहीं है. तो व्हाट इज द प्रोसेस? सो द प्रोसेस here you can see from the sun the heat comes to us by another process that is known as radiation. Okay, you can see here the process which is called the radiation. There's such a medium air in most parts of the space between the earth and sun. So you can see this is the sun, okay, and suppose this is the earth. What is here? There is the air only, okay. So what happens here? You will get, there is sun rays over your body. If you are here, if you're standing here, you will get sun rays. If you have, this is sun suppose, and if you are standing here, okay, so you get sun rays, and this is called the radiation. Okay, so this radiation will make you hot. You can use if you have bulb, 200 voltage bulb, and if you switch on that bulb, and after 2 or 3 minutes, if you put your hand near to the bulb, not put your hand on the bulb, you just take your hand close to the bulb, you can also feel heat. That is also one kind of radiation, because it just passes the, this is the heat passes from the light. What kind of light? The sun heat. It is called the sun heat. So it is called the radiation. Okay. So the transfer of heat by radiation does not require any medium. It can take place whether a medium is present or not. When we sit in front of a room heater, we get heat by this process. A hot utensil kept away from the flame cools down as it transfers heat to the surroundings by radiation. Our body too gives heat to the surroundings and receives heat from it by radiation. All hot bodies radiate heat. When this heat falls on some object, a part of which is reflected, a part is observed, and a part may be transmitted. The temperature of the object increases due to the observed part of heat. Why are you advised to use an umbrella when you go out in the sun? You know that because the radiations which in the summer it is very near, the sun is very near to the earth in summer, so the radiation comes very hot, so it will burn your skin in the afternoon. So to protect yourself, you can take umbrella during the summer. So radiation is the process where you get the heat by there is no medium. There is no medium. That is not a conduction, not a convection. It never required any kind of the medium, and that also gives the heat. This kind of the heat. Sometimes see, sun passes the radiation. That radiations are, suppose it passes the radiation to your body, but this is not all the radiations directly it passes. Here is the ozone layer. Okay, this ozone layer protects you from the direct rays of the sunlight, that is called the UV rays. It protects you from the UV rays. It protects your body from the UV rays. What it is called? It is called the UV rays. So it protects you, and then it comes to your body, then also it gives a lots of heat. So I hope you understand this topic also. Now, kinds of clothes we wear in summer and winter. So students, we understood in the previous topic that what kind of the clothes which is fiber to fabric, from what kind of clothes are made in the cotton clothes, why cotton clothes we wear in summer, why cotton and this kind of cotton clothes we are not wearing in the winter, and why woolen clothes are we wear in the winter. That we understand everything about these clothes, why we wear particular clothes in this winter and summer. The woolen clothes keeps us warm in the winter, that's why we wear, and that's why we always wear this kind of the woolen clothes in the winter. Okay, also here you can do one activity for our better understanding of transfer of heat. Take a two cans. Here we have taken a two cans. See, this is the black surface, this is the white surface cane, and in mid some light, you can say there where some shadow comes, some light comes, you put these two cans which is filled with ice, and or maybe a colder water. You just keep outside for a few minutes or 1 hour, half hour, and after half hour you check the temperature of the both the canes. What you observe, what exactly happens? So you can see here that here you can see that in this cane, the temperature will be more compared to this. Why it is so? It is that darker surface observe more heat, darker surface observe more heat. Therefore, we feel comfortable with dark colored clothes in the winter. Light colored clothes reflect most of the heat that falls on them, and therefore we feel more comfortable wearing them in the summer. कई बार हमें बोलते हैं ना कि ब्लैक क्लोथ्स पहनो विंटर में, because this black color will observe more heat. Even in solar cooker, maybe you have observed in the solar cooker, see in the solar cooker this kind of the cooker is made. We have in the science project last year we made this kind of solar cookers, you might have seen. See, these are the canes which are present in the cooker. This is the, and this is the outer part. Here it is a glass, and this is the outer part which is colored with the black. This is the black colored, is it? So this is a solar cooker also, where it is the black color outer part of the solar cooker, and that is why it observes more heat from the sunlight and it cooks very fast. So now you understand why the darker object will observe more and more heat, is it? So this is the reason we use woolen clothes, we use darker clothes in the winter. So students, I hope you understand every point in this chapter, heat, and you just revise it Thank you. Thank you very much.